My fiance cheated on me with my father. Daddy?
Papa?
Me, 27 male. Fiance, 26 female. Call her L. My father, 52 male. Call him B. That's a big age gap. My mother, 50 female. Call her R. Like many who've had something like this happen, I've never thought something like this would happen to me. But here we are.
Okay.
I've never used Reddit, but I've seen stories from here on TikTok, so I thought I'd give this a shot for any advice you could give me. From listening to some other stories, you all like backstory. Oh yes, we do. So I'll try and be as clear and precise as I can, but it's only been a week, so if I start to lose it during the telling of this, I'm sorry. You are forgiven. Elle and I met in her freshman year of college. We were both dorm in the same building where we eventually met. We later found out we lived 2 towns away from each other, so whenever we went home, I let her drive with me. It only added like 20 minutes, so it was no big deal. After multiple trips and hanging out at school, we started to date. I have a close-knit family, and so did she. So we told our families right away. I had met hers plenty of times when dropping her off, but it was nothing more than an introduction and exchanging pleasantries. Both of our families accepted each other with open arms, and our relationship grew. I was a year ahead of her, so when I graduated, I went home where I was offered a good job with great pay. I visited her at school whenever I got the chance, and whenever she came home, we would make time for each other. After she graduated, she moved in with me, as both our jobs were in the city near where we grew up. Like me, she was offered a position at the company she works at now with great pay. After living together for about 3 years, I proposed, and we've been planning our wedding ever since. Now onto the part you're all reading for. Looking back, there was plenty of things I overlooked that I just wrote off thinking my father was just trying to welcome my ex into our family. Things like my father calling her all the time. And if I was around, they would just tell me they were talking about the upcoming family party or something along those lines. One time, Elle was in the shower and her phone rang and I saw it was my dad. So I answered, and when he realized it was me, he sounded both upset and surprised that I picked up. I then answered, "What's up?" He responded that he wanted to talk to Elle about my mother's birthday that was in a week, and after a minute, we ended the call. Even typing this out now, I feel like an idiot for not seeing it sooner.
Brother.
I mean, I think hindsight is 20/20. It's easy to look back now and be like, oh, that was weird. Yeah, that makes sense now. But like, there's a 25-year age gap. Like, this doesn't happen every day.
Daddy, no.
He's your dad. Is anyone else kind of curious what he looks like? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like that. It's just like, I am curious, you know? Like, how's that possible that you were able to like convince someone that this was a good idea? On the day I found out, it was like any other day. Elle had Thursdays off, so she made breakfast for both of us. When I set out for work, she gave me a kiss and told me to have a great day. During my drive to work, I realized I'd forgotten some paperwork that I would need for a meeting I had at 3 p.m. Ooh. I shrugged it off and told myself I would just go home at lunch to get it. Elle texted me throughout the day talking about all the casual stuff, a couple talks about like, what do you want for dinner? I did the laundry. Do you want me to hang it up for you? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't think it was necessary to text her I was coming home for lunch, so when it came around, I left work and went home. When I got home, I noticed a car that looked like my father's in our parking lot, but I didn't think anything of it and just parked and went to our building. When I opened the door, I was met with a scene out of a movie where a man comes home early and catches his spouse cheating. Such a cliche. There was a trail of clothes, both his and hers, leading to my bedroom, and the sound of faint moans echoed through my apartment. Ooh. Okay. I stood at the door in utter shock. My brain was a mix of rage, sadness, and disgust, but when you're a fly on the wall, you would see what looked like a statue. I just couldn't move. When I finally came to, not knowing how much time had passed, I took out my phone to record. I picked up all the clothes that were on the floor and threw them into the hall of the building. After I filmed the walk to my bedroom, the door was open, and I stood in the doorway filming for about a minute, then flipped the lights on. They both jumped at the sudden light and looked at me, and to my utter shock, it was my father in the bed with her.
I can't watch.
After the initial stun, my father noticed I was recording and started to panic. I love how he was more worried about you recording. It's interesting that the panic heightened when he saw you were recording, because he knows He knows it's embarrassing. He doesn't care about like, you. He cares about other people knowing.
What a tool.
Interesting. So he started to panic, trying to find anything to cover himself and telling me to stop recording. He found a towel, wrapped it around himself, and started to walk toward me. I told him, if you don't want to get hurt, stop coming toward me. And he either didn't care or didn't hear me and reached for my phone. I hit him square in the jaw, and his head bounced off the door and slumped to the ground. Elle shrieked. I aimed the camera at Elle and said, concerned about your dancing partner, but nothing to say to your fiancé. Ooh, clock it. My father woke up after about a minute of a nap, and I told him, Buddy takes a nap.
You're old.
And I told him I needed to come pick something up from work, so I'm headed back now. And if either of you pieces of poop are here when I get back, I'll send this video to everyone you know. I ended the video, looked at my dad, who was still coming to, and said, you're dead to me. You're no longer my father, but you might want to go home and talk to mom because I'll be talking to her very soon. I sat in my car for a while until one of the bosses at work called to ask where I was. I told her I was on my way back. When I got to her office to hand in the paperwork, I must have looked awful because she started asking what was wrong with me. I told her it was nothing and I'd be okay. I could see her scanning me up and down. She noticed some blood on my collar and stood up and rushed to say, you're bleeding. I looked down and said it was my father's, and she looked confused, so I pulled out my phone and showed her the video.
On a full night show.
She watched it in its entirety. She was introduced to Elle a few times but never met my father. She sat there silent for a moment until it finally clicked that my fiance was cheating on me. But not only was she cheating with my father.
I don't envy you.
I still have a hard time even saying that out loud. That is crazy. I'm so sorry that happened, OP. She asked if there was anything she could do, suggesting I take some time off, but I told her I can't go back there right now, that I need a minute and I'd be fine for the meeting, and I have another shirt in my office. The meeting went over fine. I put a smile on for everyone like nothing happened. My boss came up to me after the meeting and said, how could I do that? But I just said, I don't know, and I went to my office. Then I came home and I was alone for the first time in a very long time. Thank you for reading. I'm sorry I carried on so much, but it was therapeutic getting everything down. I don't know what to do, and I definitely need to get the hell out of this apartment. I just can't live here anymore, and there's no possible way I'm sleeping in that bed. Yeah, no kidding. I know not only do I have to get checked for diseases, but I think I broke something in my hand. Ooh, you should see the other guy. What a horrible thing to have to go through. I have to say, that is so messed up.
Same.
But did you tell your mom? So we do have an update. Wow. Hello, everyone. I didn't expect to come back to Reddit and have this much support. After I wrote down all that happened, I closed my computer and kind of fell into a depression. After I posted, it hit me like a train. To people who think it's fake, I wish I was this creative. I'd write books instead of working a 9 to 5. So, the day after I posted, I tried to get in contact with my mother, but none of my calls were connecting. I wanted to see if she would get lunch with me and I'd tell her everything. After a dozen tries, I decided to get into my car and go to my mother's house. She needed to know what happened as soon as possible, even if talking about it was going to make me hurt all over again. During the drive, I thought about what I would say and how I would say it, and that made me start to panic. I had to pull over twice to throw up. Ugh. It's not every day you have to tell your mom that her husband is dancing with your fiancé. I pulled into the driveway and sat in my car for a moment to calm down and gather my thoughts. I was in my car for a few minutes when my mother threw her front door open, so I stepped out of my car.
I have a bad feeling about this.
She started cursing at me, saying, how dare I come to her home after I hit my father for trying to break up a fight between Elle and I. You know, it's a really good thing you got that video. She called me every name in the book and called me an A-word. She told me I needed to leave since Elle isn't ready to forgive me yet, and if she's smart, she hopefully never will. Yes, apparently my father took Elle to my family's home and told my mom that Elle and I argued, and when my father tried to stop it, I hit him. She continued on for a while until I finally snapped and said, really, Mom, because your husband is dancing with my fiance, and that's why I hit him. And if you can't take my word for it, I have a video. I'll send it to you. But because my own mother can talk to me like this, don't expect to see me again. I don't want to hear your apology. When you finally figure it out, you're just as shit a mom as my piece of crap father. Her face dropped. She looked like what I must have looked like when I first walked into my apartment and caught them. I pulled out my phone, sent her the video. My mom took hers out and turned it on. She pulled up the video and watched the part where I turned on the light. She then put her phone down. She looked up at me, but I turned and went to my car. I backed out of her driveway. I looked at her before I took off, and she was in tears. My heart felt for her, but too much was said during that fight for me to pull back in and forgive her. I get that. I get, like, emotions are heightened, but, like, she was manipulated into believing a story that wasn't true, right? And she heard it from two different people who lied to her. So I hope that you do work it out with your mom, because I feel very bad for her as well. When I got home, I started clearing everything out of my apartment that had to do with Elle or my family. I boxed all of Elle's things up and put them next to the front door. Legally, this has been her place of residence, so I can't technically kick her out. Her name isn't on the lease. Also, she's the type of person who shies away from conflict, and if she returns other than to pick up her things, there will be plenty of conflict. Anything that had to do with my parents, I boxed up and put into storage. Like I said in my first post, we're a very close family, but I've never had a problem cutting toxic people out of my life.
Slay.
I texted Elle's parents and told them I'm calling off the engagement and told them she's been cheating on me. I thanked them for everything they've done for me. Our relationship was still building, but they were kind and supportive. So this just added more hurt. I finished by asking if they would come pick up her belongings. I haven't gotten a response, but I'm hoping they come grab her things so Elle doesn't have a reason to come back here. That's pretty crazy that, like, when your mom wasn't picking up the phone, people are pointing out in the comments that, like, he clearly, like, lied to her about something, about how that whole situation went down. But it's crazy that he still lied knowing that you had that video.
Sure, he may not be the sharpest tool in the shed.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So we have another update. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video and you enjoy this channel,
Can you subscribe? I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
on to the next update. Hey everyone, I'm sorry I haven't updated in a while. I wish I could say I'm doing great, but that would be a lie.
Sad.
Everything hits me in waves. I go from just being numb to boiling with rage. I haven't had a happy moment since I found out. Ugh, bestie. Can you imagine having married this person though? Like, other than a few friends, I don't have anyone in real life, especially since my father turned out to be crap. Quite a few things happened since I posted last. It's been about a month, so this update will tell all that's been going on. After my last post, I decided to get the ball rolling on everything that needed to be done, like getting tested, finding a therapist, moving, and of course, buying a new bed. I started by calling my doctor's office, telling them I needed to get tested and refer me to a therapist. I had my first appointment with the therapist 2 weeks ago, and we decided to continue once a week. I also got tested last week, but it'll be another week or so, so until I get the results, cross your fingers for me.
Good luck.
I got in touch with a real estate agent friend of mine, and he sent me a ton of listings, and I decided on a refurbished cabin on the outskirts of my city. I finished moving 2 days ago. When I finished moving, I called Elle's parents. When they didn't pick up, I told them I moved out, and Elle has still yet to pick up her things, and the landlord will start showing the apartment in a few days. So someone better pick up her things before the landlord throws it out. That must have lit a fire under them, because the next day, my former landlord texted me thanking me for getting the apartment emptied out. No one knows where I live other than the friend who set me up with this place, so I know Elle or my parents won't be dropping by. The only thing that sucks about this place is I traded a 10-minute walk to work for a 45-minute drive.
Traffic.
You're doing, honestly, all the right things. And, like, I know you don't feel at this point in your story great, and, you know, it's probably still fresh. You're doing all the right things to move on. My phone has been blowing up with texts and calls from Elle, both my parents and some of my friends, but I have no interest in talking to anyone other than my therapist. At work, I've been a ghost. I go in, get my work done, and leave. On the rare occasion I have to talk to someone, I put on my fake smile and pretend everything is okay. My boss from my previous post has been trying to check on me more, but I don't really tell her anything. I just tell her I appreciate it, but I'll be okay. Truth is, I don't know if I'll be okay. I get that time heals all, but I feel like that's only relevant when you're dealing with one issue, not when you lose who you thought were the 3 closest people in your life, all at once. A huge part of me died, and there's no chance of resuscitating it. Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I wouldn't totally throw a relationship with your mom out the window. I understand she said some really horrible things, but she's also a victim in all of this. Maybe eventually you guys can talk about it. The meetings with my therapist are going well. I've never done therapy before, so I have no reference on what good therapy is. We do get along, and she seems genuine in wanting to help. The first session was us getting to know each other and delving into what brings me to her. Nothing in depth, but me telling her what happened in my own words. Second session, we went deeper. She asked me about the relationship I had with my parents, and I told her up until now, it was great. We talked often, always communicated well when something was wrong, and I grew up in a great home, but all that means nothing now. She asked why I cut my mother out of my life. I told her she said things to me I wouldn't say to someone I despised. Then told her there's no way she can come back from that. At the end of our last session, I gave her the link to my page on here so she can read more about how I feel and what's going on in my head. I feel like it's easier to type things out than it is to speak it. So if you're reading this, hi, Doc.
Hi, Doc.
For now, I'm still miserable. I thought I'd be okay by now. Not necessarily happy, but okay. It's gonna take a bit. I know some of this is my own fault not communicating to my friends, but when I think about responding to them, it just seems so exhausting. I know they'll want to get together or come to my new place, but I just don't have the energy to be around them. Until I do, I'll work, I'll go to my appointments and sit on my back deck, sipping some bottom shelf whiskey and try to enjoy this beautiful view. I haven't hunted since high school, so maybe I'll take that up again, now that I can hunt from my back porch. I totally understand. I'm also someone that goes inside myself when like bad things happen. Sometimes it's just easier to process things. But like when you feel ready, I do think having a support system is good. Like isolating yourself isn't always, I'm learning, the best thing for us. A period of reflection is good, but I'm sure you will have a ton of support when you choose to open up.
Pat.
We have one more update 8 months later. Hey everyone. Sorry, I've been MIA for a while. I'm writing this update to let you all know I'm alive and to give you the lowdown of what's been happening. First, I want to apologize to those who were worried about me. After my last post, I was nowhere near okay, so I pulled back. I secluded myself in order to heal and cope with what is now my life. I want you to know every comment and message didn't fall on deaf ears. I took all of your positive feedback and advice and worked through my problems. So to the people who supported me through this, truly, thank you. I can't stress it enough. When I was the lowest I've ever been, it was the internet strangers that were there for me. So thank you. In my last post, I was doing things like getting tested and trying to restart my life. I'm happy to inform you I'm clean and I couldn't be more relieved. I'm fully moved into my new place. When I told you all about my new place, I told you it was a refurbished cabin. Well, I might have been a little generous. It was refurbished almost 25 to 30 years ago, so it was a bit dated. With all my newfound free time, I decided to actually refurbish it. And all that's left to do is paint the guest room I turned into an office. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's great. I love a little project. The only thing I didn't do myself was the electric and plumbing because I have no clue how to do it and zero interest in being shocked or putting my hand in a covered pipe. Doing all the work has been incredibly stress releasing and has helped me clear my head. Truthfully, if you've ever gone through something really terrible in life, isolation can help, but I think the best thing you can do is work on your surroundings, like start a project, something creative, something to like put your energy somewhere. I mean, one could argue that's also why I make YouTube videos. So that's super helpful. If you're ever going through something really horrible, like it can be something as simple as like cleaning your house, reorganizing things, you know, just put that energy like somewhere constructive. And then at the end of the day, you can just like, you didn't sit around all day and do nothing and wallow in self-pity, deserved self-pity. But you know, you can look at what you've done and be like, hey, at least I got out of bed. At least I accomplished something today. Sorry guys, this is a bit of a heavy video, but it's almost finished.
Come on, home stretch.
I still see my therapist once a week. To all those who suggested, you probably saved my life, so thank you for being able to vent, get my frustrations out, and get the advice I need has been better than anything in my life, past or present. I'm still working at the same company. I've become more open with some of my coworkers that I'm closer with, and my boss from my previous post due to advice from my therapist. Also, due to her and some of your advice, I reached out to my friends and I've slowly been reintegrating into the group again. Now on to the update about what's going on between my family and ex. I decided I was ready to have a talk with my mother. Good. So a little over a month ago, I unblocked her and reached out. I called and almost instantly she picked up the phone. I could tell through the tone of her voice she was panicking. Eventually, after reassuring it was me, I told her we should meet and talk, and she agreed. A day later, we met at a diner near her house. She was there before I was, and when she saw me, she started sobbing. Oh. When I sat, she apologized over and over, telling me she could only take their word because she never thought them getting together would ever happen. I told her, while I appreciate the apology, the things she said to me were despicable and something no mother should ever say to their child. And it showed me exactly what she thought of me. She cried harder and promised it's not true. that when she was told I hit my father for no reason, she was angry. And when I showed up to the house, she let her anger take over. Not wanting to go back and forth with her, I decided to move on. And I said, speaking of that POS, what have you decided to do? She told me they've been separated. She kicked him out since the day after I sent the video, and she immediately found a lawyer. Good. Then we moved on to my ex. She said when I pulled away, she went back into the house and threw them both out. She was disgusted to look at them. We talked for about an hour in total, and before I left, I told her I was in a dark point in my life, and because of the things she said to me, I didn't have my mother when I needed her, and because of that, I don't know if I could have her in my life. I then told her I'm willing to work on the relationship with her, but it will be at my pace. That's good. That's good. That's all one can really hope for. She stopped me before I could leave and told me she has to tell me something important. I sat down and she said, Elle is pregnant. Uh-oh. Elle apparently showed up to the house and told my mom. She said she didn't know if it's mine or my father's. Jerry. And asked if I'd been in touch so she can let me know. Obviously she wasn't, so my mom just sent her on my way. Well, that's about it for the update. I have a lot on my mind, so not sure what to do or feel. Thank you for reading. Sorry for rambling on and on. You did not ramble. I'm proud of you. Obviously, yeah, people in the comments are like, you need a DNA test. Yeah, DNA test stat. Like, he was old, but like not old enough that the chances of it being your child are completely out the window. There is no further update after this.
Disappointing.
OP said he's getting a DNA test. Hopefully it all worked out. Thank you for sharing, OP, and I'm sorry that that happened to you. Should we like lighten the mood a little bit? Like, I'm just feeling like a little somber right now. We have some more breakup drama for you. Don't go anywhere. Am I the jerk for throwing away a 4-year relationship because my boyfriend called me a buzzkill on my promotion night? I literally can see like boogers like crawling down my nose. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, 1 second. I think it was because I was crying a little bit. That story was sad. I, 27 female, recently ended things with my boyfriend, Liam, 29 male, after 4 years together. We shared an apartment, a dog, and what I thought was a solid future. But since the breakup, his family and some of our mutual friends have been calling me impulsive, saying I'm throwing away a marriage track relationship over a single bad night. I'll be the judge of that. The truth is, it wasn't one night. It was 4 years of feeling like my emotions were an inconvenience to his schedule. It's never just one thing, is it?
I've got a short list ready.
Liam is the kind of person who is the life of the party as long as he's the narrator. He can spend hours dissecting his CrossFit PRs or the office politics at his tech firm. I was always his biggest cheerleader. But over time, I noticed a pattern. Whenever I had a win, or more importantly, a bad day, Liam would physically start looking for an exit.
Hold up.
Ooh, that's triggering. He started checking his phone, or he'd suddenly remember he had to go to the store. So literally not be your support system at all in any respect, like not even like on a bad day. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's like certain people can't be around you when you have good news, but they love when you bring them bad news. Like, they are so unbelievably supportive when you bring them bad news. It's the good news that they have a hard time hearing. But I'm actually surprised that it doesn't seem like this dude can handle any sort of support for you.
Kinda sucks.
The breaking point happened last Tuesday. I've been working toward a senior analyst position for 18 months. I finally got the news that I landed it, along with a significant raise. Well, if no one else told you, congratulations. I was vibrating with excitement. I called Liam and told him to meet me at our favorite steakhouse to celebrate. When we sat down, I started telling him about the feedback my boss gave me. Not even 3 minutes in, Liam interrupted me to talk about how his coworker, Dave, bought the same ergonomic keyboard he's been eyeing. Okay. I tried to pivot back to my news and he literally sighed and said, "Babe, we get it. You got the job." I beg your finest pardon. We get it. Ugh. Can we just enjoy the dinner without making it a PowerPoint presentation? Oh yeah, no, he gotta go. Is it garbage day? Can we take the trash out? I felt the air go out of me. I told him it hurt my feelings that he didn't seem to care about something I worked hard for. His immediate response, here we go.
You're being way too sensitive. It's just a title change. Don't let it go to your head and ruin the vibe.
Ew. I tried to drop it, but I was visibly quiet. 10 minutes later, he got annoyed that
I wasn't fun enough.
You're literally an accessory for him. You're there to feed his ego.
Ew.
He called me a total buzzkill, told me that my constant need for validation was exhausting. Oh my God. Then he spent the rest of the dinner texting his group chat about a fantasy football trade. Dude. No. When we got home, I realized I couldn't do another 40 years of being told my feelings were a vibe killer. I told him I wanted to break up. He was genuinely shocked. He told me I was being hormonal and dramatic.
How dare you!
No, but I'll show you hormonal and dramatic. That normal people don't end 4-year relationships over a dinner conversation. Okay, let's not like minimize what it was about. You can't seem to go to him with any feelings, whether it be good feelings or bad feelings, and him be there to support you. Like at that point, it's almost better to be alone. This is why I was alone for so long, okay? Because when you're alone, other people's bullshit does not penetrate you. You're kind of in your own little bubble, and solitude is addictive, right? Because it's just like this, like, you know, you don't have to worry about other people supporting you. You support yourself. If this person is not a support system for you, why is he in your life? What is the point? He moved out to his brother's place, but he's been sending me long emails about how I'm blindsiding him and I need therapy for my emotional instability. Okay, so yet again, literally no acknowledgement or apology for how he spoke to you. Got it. My mother even told me I should have just waited for him to be in a better mood to talk about it. What? So I'm sorry, he was pissed off because someone he knew bought a keyboard he wanted and therefore could not be happy for you? Get the fuck out of here. I'm wearing a spicy shirt. I am a little spicy right now. I started to look at my furniture in this empty apartment and wonder if I'm just too sensitive or if I finally stopped accepting the bare minimum. You were accepting less than the bare minimum. In this day and age, I think it's, you know, everybody thinks that they're going to end up with, you know, the trophy wife or the trophy husband, or they're going to marry into a really like affluent family and stuff. Really, the bare minimum is support. I think most people don't need to like marry rich or marry well or be in relationships with people that benefit them. I think that literally the only thing that I really need in a relationship or a friendship for that matter is support. Especially since, you know, reading your story, I can tell that you're someone that also gives a lot of support. I don't think you're the jerk at all. At all. That guy. Not the jerk. Your boyfriend is a narcissistic jerk that can't let your light shine and let you be the focus for one night. That's the thing, right? There's a bunch of red flags here. Not being a support system for you when things are bad. Not being a support system for you when things are good. Wanting to change the subject and not okay with you being the center of attention for once. Gaslighting you and minimizing your feelings and telling you that your feelings don't matter. Lack of apology. I'm not a therapist, can't diagnose someone from the internet, but, and legally can't diagnose someone. Sounds like some narcissistic traits. Just saying. Not the jerk. You saw a toxic pattern and decided you didn't want to live with it for the rest of your life. This was a good decision, period. I'm sorry, but like your partner needs to be your biggest cheerleader. The world is hard enough. Life is hard enough. When you're choosing a partner, and, you know, also, when I chose my partner, it was a complete and unconditional amount of support. Your partner should be your safe space.
Safety first.
People in the world won't be happy for you. Your friends sometimes won't be happy for you. You know, you're going to have people that are preying on your downfall in life. Your partner, your choice of a life partner has to be the antidote to all of that. Your man hates you. This dude hates you, okay?
She's not wrong.
You're sleeping with the enemy. Your partner has to give you unconditional support and be your safe space. Otherwise, you're better off alone, genuinely. So no, you are not the jerk. Am I the a-hole for leaving my husband after proudly saying that he still chose me over his coworker.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Interesting. Okay. This was from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Hello, Charlotte. Hi. I've been an avid listener to your YouTube channel, and never in my life did I think I would be posting here one day. I guess life really brings unexpected. Bear with me. Also, this is a throwaway account for personal reasons. You're excused. I, 33 years old, married to my husband, 34-year-old, for 3 years. We have a daughter, 3 years old, and both of us are working but have shifting schedules. I'm a night duty while he's a morning duty so that we can take care of our daughter. It was hard, but we are both getting by. Lately, he started correcting me on how I should manage the house and take care of him as a husband.
Okay, I'm not suspicious of you at all.
Okay. I didn't mind at first since I thought it's genuinely for our well-being, but it became more ridiculous as weeks went by. He wants me to wake him up if it's time for him to wake up and go to work. Okay. He wants both his food and clothes prepared beforehand before he wakes up. Also, lunch prepared that he can bring.
Make me a sandwich.
I feel like he's watching one of those red pill podcasts. I'm sorry, but like, you work the night shift, and when you get home after working a shift, I'm assuming he expects you to cook for him so that he can then go to work with food. He wants me to clean the house daily. He's a clean freak and will get angry if I left even a small piece of dirt. This is on top of my supposed to be sleeping hours. So, but is he cleaning the house too? Like, is he a clean freak as in he's also cleaning? Just curious. We were not like this before. When we started, we both talked and understood we would need to make sacrifices to make ends meet. We prepared our own things every weekday before and have bonding time on the weekends. Now, aside from his demands, I still need to prepare my own things before going to work and take care of our daughter during the day since it's day, so our daughter is awake. I do alarm clocks so I can power nap in selected times. Then I sleep when our daughter is also sleeping.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Okay. This went on for a while and I started to feel burnt out. I keep asking him what's the change and he shrugs my questions. He's either listening to one of those podcasts or he has friends that are putting ideas in his head. And listen, these ideas absolutely can exist. There are plenty of women that are okay with like traditional male and female roles, right? But when you are a traditional person and you expect a traditional wife, then you need to be a traditional man and provide so that she can stay at home and do the job of being the mother and the wife.
Typical imperialist patriarchy.
Why is it that this day and age comes with not only the expectation that we are supposed to split things 50-50 and both people have to work, but then there's also this expectation that we need to be the wife and the mother? I'm failing to understand that. I would literally tell him, like, listen, hey, I'm happy to stay home and take care of you and make you lunch and take care of our daughter, but you're gonna have to pick up the slack and make more money.
Get to it.
I don't like that there's this sudden change. That bothers me. It's kind of demeaning, honestly. Sorry. So I keep asking him what the change is. He shrugged my questions. I was very tired and I can't even fix myself anymore. When I finally got an approved long leave from the company I'm working, I asked my husband if I could have a vacation with my parents so I can finally relax. Because I feel like if this continues, I might lose my mind for a lack of sleep and rest, which he agreed. On the day that I was finally going to my parents, our daughter is coming with me because he can't take care of her due to his work. He escorted us to a bus and he suddenly confessed then and there that he was seeing a coworker.
Whoa.
And that her habits and taking care of her husband are his ideals. And that's why he wants to incorporate those to me.
Ew.
So he's simultaneously telling you he's cheating on you with someone who is like the traditional woman. And now he wants you to behave that way.
Ew.
After telling me that, he exhaled like he just felt like it was great to finally say it to me and gave me a satisfaction continuation. I still choose you since you're my wife. Like I should be thankful he fully didn't cheat. But you said seeing his coworker. I'm a little confused as to like what the status of that relationship is. But anyway, I was dumbfounded and couldn't react nor move. Then he walked away since the bus was about to leave. It felt like I just wanted to escape and didn't want to see what reactions I might show to him. I was stunned. I looked at my daughter, who doesn't know what's happening to her dad or any of this. I cried the whole duration of my travel and turned off my mobile since anger and frustration started to kick in.
I'm angry at you. I'm angry at myself.
When I got to my parents' house, I plastered a smile and tried my best to show that everything is okay. My parents are very old, so I don't want to stress them out, but sadly, I broke down to them after 2 days. They told me it's normal to have a bump in a marriage and we need to work it out for the sake of our daughter. Okay, but what exactly is this bump? I'm surprised that their reaction to this news is anything other than like raging anger. Strangely though, when I was ready to communicate and open my phone for the third day, there were no texts or calls or any voicemails. His number was turned off for some reason, and when I attempted to contact his parents to know why, his father told me he went away to travel. I returned home after my vacation to see things. Nothing was touched inside the house aside from some missing clothes of his, and that made me think he went away the day he confessed. But we do get updates from his friend he was with telling us he will be back once he cooled down. Now I want to divorce him since I felt stupid all these months. That made me think I just tortured myself for a reason he told me. But both my parents and his parents are asking me to talk this first out, and I should not rush things as I might be too emotional right now. Maybe I am, but I don't know anymore. I can't explain properly these feelings that I have right now. Do I feel betrayed, cheated on, frustrated, angry? All my life, it never occurred to me to even see any guys nor compare him to my workmates in the office.
Revelations.
Okay, so it's my understanding that when he told you he hadn't cheated, but he still saw this coworker of his looking after her husband in a way that he wishes you looked after him.
I'm following you now.
Let me also add, just for helpful context, that he has a job during the day. And I'm assuming this coworker also works the same hours. It's a little easier to take care and do all of those things when you're not coming home from a night shift. And I hate that he's comparing you to her. It's I'm baffled at this. I solely believed before this was just a bumpy ride that we could get through. But now I just had enough and I want to move on because regardless on what's happening in our marriage, our daughter's life doesn't pause. Am I the a-hole for still deciding to leave him despite the opposition from both our parents? Or am I too emotional that I don't see everything yet to decide? I don't know. I think, well, no, obviously you're not the a-hole at all. It's like he's trying to say,
oh, well, I'm doing you a favor. Like, I'm still with you, even though, so you just have to like compensate for the fact that like, you know, this other person.
I'm sorry. This is like not the way to get someone to do something that you want. It just isn't.
Negotiating in bad faith.
Yeah, there's this other woman that I saw and she takes care of her husband and like, I didn't cheat on you, but like, I want you to be like her.
Someone in the comments pointed out, not the a-hole, you told him you needed to rest and he chose to unburden himself at the beginning of it because he was going away to have a good time. You're not his slave, leave him, literally. That's also really f***ed up that he chose that particular moment to tell you this horrible thing. Is that the life you want for your daughter as well? This is what she'll grow up seeing and modeling. How is staying with him better for her in any way? Both sets of parents are wrong and giving you bad advice. Don't listen to them. They're also probably projecting like their own set of values onto you. Some people are saying that, you know, you should get tested because like it's very likely that he was cheating. But we actually do have an update for this story. I can now give an update. In the end, I packed our things, remaining items of my daughter that was left, and we remain living with my parents. My soon-to-be ex-husband, hallelujah, unfortunately didn't go with his coworker girl. The majority tried to guess that, and really just went out to a guy friend, which I also know. Okay, well, I guess that's kind of a relief, but like, whatever.
Whatever.
I need to explain that he has a habit that whenever he knows he does something bad, he's the type who always goes out or away far from the noise and then goes back once he calms down. So he avoids accountability. Am I understanding that correctly? With all the comments pointing out, I thought this was normal, but you made me realize I'm such a fool and I didn't see the red flag properly. A lot of people do this, okay? I feel like it's a sign of guilt, like definitely, but this is his way of avoiding taking responsibility for what he's done. We're both aware that this was not planned and that challenges will be inevitable, but what made things turn out for the worst is the realization that he's not ready to be a father nor have a family. We talked because we have to. He's still my husband by paper, and we have a daughter who will be affected by all of this. His explanation was that he felt pressured. He's the man of the house. He should be the one providing after seeing our daughter grow every day. Seeing our circumstance as both working made him panic that he will never reach the dream he wants to have, and that is to graduate and have a better life opportunity and go explore and travel. I kid you not, those are his exact words he told me.
Soft child of a man.
He also said sorry for saying it too late, that it only started to make sense when we were already in this situation. Since he was feeling down, his coworker girl was like an angel to him. I met her. I also met his coworkers and supervisor during his disappearance. The girl he's referring to is a sweet girl who shows the same sweetness to the rest of the team, not just to my husband. She brings food to the office, shares it with everyone. She's very vocal and someone everyone talks to. It seems the girl's personality was contagious, with a bright personality that some see her as an ideal girlfriend or wife. That's how the manager explained it to me. I didn't dive further since my husband resigned to his work afterwards. It seems he got scolded for disappearing from the office without reporting or anything after he got back. My problem is that instead of him saying those direct dilemmas to me about our situation, he instead found peace with the ideal girl he sees and wants to incorporate those to me. He then explained to me that due to this, he now understood his preferences and wants to start over from scratch. Okay, so let me get this straight. He knows someone from work that does all of these nice things, that's chipper and bubbly and all of those things, but he doesn't really know the full scope of the story. This is the thing about comparing, right? You might think that someone has it all, that like the grass is greener on the other side, but he's only seeing like some of the story. The fact that he's attributing what she's doing and he thinks you should be doing it too, you're in completely different circumstances. You're working night shifts. Completely different situation. As if that's not the final blow yet, he told me his mental health will deteriorate further if he keeps pretending that everything's okay now that he knows what he truly wants.
Delusional.
Okay, well, he can go and find that with somebody else. And by the way, he better be prepared to pay for everything. I was angry at first, who wouldn't be? Part of me blames me for myself not seeing the signs that he doesn't want this life at all. If I had known, we should not have been married from the start. But I also know I'm not the only one who decided to get married. We both did. I guess his mental state was drained already before I experienced mine. What I can say is our marriage was really rough. We instead made the agreement that he can still visit his daughter if he wants. I honestly don't want to keep someone who's already been unattached. What's the sense of making this family unite when I and my daughter are already out of the picture to him? Is he selfish for telling all of me this too late? Yes. Does he think I can just reverse our daughter back into my uterus or something to have this ideal start over?
You never know if you never try.
I know time will continue to run, and I know he's aware of it, but I can't force someone who doesn't want to continue this relationship anymore, as it will make us all miserable in the long run. Now, I don't know where he is, but since then, I finally have my peace. My daughter has more playtime since we're living in the countryside, and it's more spacious and near to nature. I'm not pressured anymore with the house chores. I have a bit of help with my mother. My parents are really old, so I understand their initial advice, and they've supported me on my final decision to divorce. They explained to me that they just gave advice since I asked, but whatever my decision is, they will respect it, and they did. I don't want to talk about legal stuff since I'm going to let the lawyer handle complicated explanations to us. For now, I'm happy because I can finally breathe. I still work, but in a different branch to lessen the travel time. I don't know if my update is good enough for now, but I want to savor this moment of peace with my daughter and parents. Have a nice day, everyone, and hope there are wonderful days to come. Yeah, I think you hit it right on the money. He's kind of contradicting himself because he's kind of saying like,
I want the ideal wife, but like, you know, I also want to travel and do all these things.
This dude doesn't know what he wants. All I know is he's not ready to make the commitment to be a father or a husband. If the first time he like literally sees someone that's like, oh, let me bake some cookies for the office, how does he know that that's what she's doing at home? Oh, I baked some cookies for the office. Yeah, I'm doing this for my husband. I think I should be a good wife. Maybe she's just saying that.
You've got a point.
If he has those feelings at the first sign of like,
maybe I could have my cake and eat it too.
he's not ready for a relationship or to be a husband and father for that matter. Everyone in the comments is like, make sure he pays child support. Like, well, I'm glad to see you got out of a situation, OP. Make sure you get that child support.
You owe me.
My wife went out last night and didn't come home until this morning. This is horrible. I'm furious right now, but I'm also depressed. I know what I have to do. It's killing me that I have to do it though. It's fresh and it hurts a lot. My wife didn't come home last night. She went out with a couple of girlfriends, which is normal for her. She's usually back around 2 a.m. on these nights, so I waited up. At 2:30, I called to check in. She answered and I could hear people in the background. She told me they went to a party but were leaving in a couple of minutes. She wasn't home by 3, so I texted. It delivered, but no reply. 4 a.m., I called again. It ran a couple of times before she sent me a voicemail. My wife finally came stumbling through the door at 6:47 a.m. this morning. I know the exact time because I was worried. She was wearing a dress she didn't leave the house in. With mesh leggings I've never seen either. The leggings had clearly been torn and her makeup was smudged. Oh, okay. Alarm bells a little bit. Okay, 2 things. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? My heart sank when I saw her. My immediate worry was that she had been A-worded. She only shook her head no when I asked her that. I asked her what she had been doing. She only said I knew what she'd been doing and kind of confirmed what the voice in the back of my head had been screaming since she walked in. My wife cheated on me last night. I asked her who it was. She shrugged almost casually and said it was somebody they met at the club. Okay, interesting. It's interesting that she's wearing a different dress. Anybody else's mind kind of go to, you know, when you like wanted to wear like a little outfit to school, but you couldn't have your parents like seeing you in that outfit? So you'd like change when you got to school? Just me? Okay. I feel like that's what happened with her. I feel like that shows that it was like premeditated, honestly. Unless she put on someone else's dress. So it was somebody she met at the club. She went back to his house and hooked up with him, then Ubered home. She then said she didn't want to fight and just wanted to sleep. So that's what she did. I don't really feel like she has the right to dictate any of this. She's still asleep now and didn't even take a shower before passing out. Suffice to say, our relationship is over. We don't have any kids and we rent, so it shouldn't be an extremely complicated process. I keep trying to reason myself out of it, pretending there might be something to salvage here. I always maintain that cheating would be a red line for me, though. I think I need to stick to that now. She doesn't even seem like sorry. She's like, oh, yes, yeah, I did. I'm just gonna go to bed now, though. Bye. Bye. Okay. All right, small update. 1 day later.
Spill the tea, sweetheart.
Things have happened. I'm no longer at home. I left. I wasn't able to get the day off work, so I'm writing this on my lunch. It's been a struggle keeping myself together. I had to sneak off to the bathroom twice to cry. Rough dude. I'm sorry to hear. I'll post something more detailed later on because holy there's a lot. I'm exhausted. I've only slept 4 hours total since this happened. Okay, on to the next update. I wasn't able to get the day off work yesterday because my boss sucks. I was a complete mess at work yesterday though, so I was allowed to take the rest of the week off as a vacation, thankfully. I think I went through all stages of grief while my soon-to-be ex was sleeping. I wasn't expecting my post to get any attention at all. I just figured I needed to try to talk to someone about it because I was not in a good headspace. I made the post in the morning and by noon she was still conked out in the bedroom. The fact that she was able to sleep through all of that, that is insulting. That's even worse than cheating. Like, how can you live with yourself, let alone have a good night's sleep?
Me? I slept like a baby.
I had processed things a bit more and I had a rough plan in my head that I was starting to set in motion. I made a short list of questions I wanted answers to, gathered my important documents, laptop, etc. Then I went into the bedroom and started packing myself a suitcase. I know a lot of folks wanted me to kick her out. I did consider it, but I'm honestly not overly attached to this place. We just rent, and I'm in a lucky enough situation to be able to say that paying half the rent for a few months isn't gonna financially end me. It'll sting a little bit, I won't lie, but I'll make it. And I feel like being around this place is only gonna remind me of her anyway. I need to be looking forward, not back.
Hell yeah, brother.
She ended up waking up about halfway through me packing my suitcase. There was momentary confusion as she looked around the room and then she started bawling. Maybe this is awful of me, but I didn't bother comforting her. Why? You let her take a nap. Now you have to comfort her? No. I told her I had the screenshots of her Uber and text messages from her phone, and plus her confirmation was enough that things between us were completely done. She didn't answer me and just cried louder. I debated trying to continue the conversation, but I decided to just pack the rest of my suitcase and head back out to the living room until she came out. When she finally left the bedroom, she sat next to me on the couch and asked if we could talk things through. I told her as calmly as possible that wasn't how things were going to work. I was going to ask questions. I wanted honest answers. She told me she'd be honest, so I proceeded. My voice was shaking the entire time. It was taking me everything to hold it together, but I kept going. So here are the questions. Was this the first time she'd cheated? She started crying before she answered that and told me no. She cheated on me multiple times over the course of our relationship. That's why the whole, I'm going to put on a different outfit thing, when she left the house, that to me screams premeditated. I love how I'm talking about it like it's murder. It kind of is. Like, you murdered the relationship.
You killed it.
It was, and I'm going to use her words exactly here, just spicy time, a way for me to let off steam. None of it ever meant anything. Go to the gym, babes. Go punch a bag. Take up boxing. Let off steam in a way that there's no victims.
Should be easy.
I wrote a comment shortly after making my post that all the love couldn't just fade away in one swoop. Well, it can. It hit me right then that I wasn't dealing with my wife. The person I was married to literally wasn't in the room. This was someone different. She refused to tell me exactly how many times she cheated, just more than last night.
Well, perhaps you should get yourself tested.
Had she used protection? No hesitation from her before she nodded her head. She seemed surprised I'd even ask. I'm still going to get tested just to be safe.
Good job.
Were her friends also cheating on their spouses? Yes and no. Oh, God, so they all went out together. Oh, God, and they probably all knew each other were doing it. Oh, man. I tried to get her to tell me which of her friends were cheating so I could get in contact with their spouses. She probably should have, because her refusal led me to be messaging pretty much the romantic partner of every one of their girlfriends I could find on social media. There are a couple I don't know or couldn't find, but I did my part. Why did she do it? This was the answer that gutted me the most. I'm going to use her exact words again.
I need to have variety.
Variety? This ain't a corner store, honey. I told her it's not like our sex life is dull. She clarified it's not the same as something new. Okay. I didn't even have a response to that one. I expected something about me working too much or not supporting her emotionally. Nope. She just liked other guys because she felt like it and wanted to have some fun. When I didn't respond, she started asking me about counseling and therapy. I reiterated that our relationship was over, I would be leaving. What she did next disgusted me. My ex actually tried to get intimate with me. She put her hands on me and tried to take off my clothes. I feel like I wanted to vomit and I pushed her away after a couple of seconds. She kept telling me she would figure out a way to fix it, that we would work through it together. Ooh, she got problems, honey. I told her there was no way and she started bawling again. She went to the bathroom and locked herself inside. I was sick of everything at that point. I called her mother, told her what was going on, the full story, the cheating, the questions, and the fact that I was leaving. I've always had a good relationship with my ex's parents. They both decided to drive to town, which is about an hour for them. Once I knew someone was on the way, I grabbed my things and left. Her waterworks in the bathroom were just annoying me because it felt hollow to me, especially given the answers to my questions. I ended up packing another bag before I left and took all the things I could think of that I felt sentimental attachment to with me. I found a parking lot and sat in my car until I was able to get in contact with a buddy for a place to crash. I tried to take a nap, but I was running on way too much adrenaline. I knew when her parents had made it to the apartment because she started calling me. When I didn't answer, she started texting me. She'd gone from sad and crying to furious. Apparently, I'm a freaking piece of poop for telling her mom everything. Whoops. I'm not sorry. What did she think was gonna happen? Oh no, you hear that? It's the consequences of your actions. Bing! I've received roughly 100 texts from her since leaving. They range from name calling all the way to begging me to come back, to sending me pictures of food she ate for some reason. I haven't responded to any of them. I feel like I said my piece before leaving. So that's where I'm at right now. We didn't have joint finances, so that part was easy. I canceled all the subscriptions that go to my credit card just to be sure, changed all my passwords. I'm crashing on a friend's couch for the next bit, but I've got some feelers out for some short-term rental places until I can find something more permanent. I have feelers out for a divorce attorney too. A coworker of mine had a recommendation, so barring something better, I'll probably go with them. There is one final update. Hey folks, I'm happy, I guess. To say this will be the final update to what has been probably the most difficult chapter of my life. I felt an immense amount of support from the community here from my initial 2 posts, so I wanted to give a short update. Bottom line, my ex and I both signed the final papers to our divorce this week. Yay! It feels kind of surreal to think about that still. About 2 weeks into everything, she got resistant. I cut her off entirely and she refused to return my attorney's calls for a little while. Eventually, things got back on track. As for the infidelity itself, I don't have a ton more details to share with you. We did a short mediation, and by that time, I didn't feel there was any remorse on her end. I mean, I could tell that there was no remorse because, like, she literally was able to sleep after telling you that she cheated on you.
I don't care about you.
I've talked about that a lot with my therapist. I'm in therapy, by the way. It still hurts that someone who I thought loved me could have apparently cared about me so little, but I'm working through it. That's really all I've got to share. Thanks again, everybody, for your advice and support. I really wanted a happy ending, and we got one. Subscribe!